The day my wife asked for an open marriage, I thought she was joking. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't angry either. She looked prepared, like she'd practiced the conversation 100 times before saying it out loud. I remember staring at her across the dinner table, waiting for the punchline that never came. We'd been married for 8 years. Her name was Emma. If you'd asked anyone who knew us, they would have called us the stable couple. No screaming matches. No cheating. No dramatic breakups. Just two people who'd quietly built a life together. At least, that's what I believed. Emma folded her hands together and told me she still loved me. Then she said she didn't think one person could meet every emotional and physical need forever. She'd been reading articles, listening to podcasts, talking to people who believed open marriages actually made relationships stronger. She said it so calmly it almost sounded reasonable. Then she looked at me and asked what I thought. The honest answer? I didn't think anything. My brain had stopped working somewhere around the words open marriage. I asked her one question. Is there someone else? She answered immediately. No. Too quickly. That should have been my first warning. Instead, I wanted to believe her. Emma told me this wasn't about another man. She said it was about freedom, honesty, growth. She said people spent too much time pretending they didn't notice attractive strangers. She wanted a relationship built on truth instead of rules. I listened, mostly because I didn't know what else to do. That night, I slept on the sofa. Not because we argued. Because I couldn't stand lying beside someone I'd suddenly realized I didn't understand. Over the next week, Emma kept bringing it up. Never aggressively. Always gently. She'd send me articles, videos, stories about couples who claimed opening their marriage had saved them. She never pressured me. She just never stopped. After about 10 days, I asked her something I'd been avoiding. If I say no, she looked away before answering. That pause told me more than her words. She finally admitted she'd probably resent me. Not immediately, but eventually. That sentence stayed with me. Because it wasn't really a choice anymore. It was an ultimatum wrapped in polite language. I started wondering if she'd already decided. Maybe she just wanted me to make it official. A month later, I said yes, not because I wanted an open marriage. Because I thought saying no would end my marriage anyway. We spent hours making rules. No friends. No coworkers. Always be honest. Protection. No sleepovers. No bringing anyone into our home. It all felt ridiculous. Like writing safety instructions for a plane that was already crashing. Emma looked relieved. Actually relieved. That bothered me. Not because she was happy. Because she hadn't looked that excited in months. The following Friday, she told me she was going out with friends. I didn't ask questions. We'd agreed not to. She came home after midnight. Showered immediately. Then climbed into bed beside me. I stared at the ceiling until morning. She never told me whether she'd been with someone. I never asked. That became our new marriage. Silence. The strange part is, Emma became happier. She laughed more. Started dressing differently. She spent longer getting ready before leaving the house. Meanwhile, I felt like a guest in my own life. 3 weeks passed before I downloaded a dating app. Not because I wanted to. Because I was tired of feeling like the only person suffering. I matched with someone named Olivia. We talked for almost 2 weeks before meeting. She was divorced. Funny. Easy to be around. She didn't ask complicated questions. She didn't know my history. She only knew I liked old movies and terrible coffee. Our first date lasted 4 hours. Nothing happened. We just talked. When I got home, Emma was sitting in the living room waiting for me. She asked how it went. I told her the truth. Really good. For the first time since suggesting the open marriage, I watched the smile disappear from her face. She nodded. Said she was happy for me. Then went upstairs without another word. The next morning, I found my wedding ring on the bathroom counter. Emma had taken hers off too. She said it felt weird wearing one now. I agreed. But something had changed. She'd wanted an open marriage. Now that I was actually seeing someone, it suddenly didn't seem quite so exciting anymore. And a week later, I accidentally found out why Emma had been so confident I'd never say yes. I wasn't looking for anything. That's important. People always assume I went through Emma's phone. I didn't. She'd left her laptop open on the dining table while she showered. A message popped up in the corner of the screen. Just one line. Did he finally agree? I wish I'd looked away. Instead, I froze. Another message appeared. Told you he'd say yes. Then one more. Now we don't have to hide anymore. Emma came downstairs before I could read anything else. I closed the laptop. She never realized I'd seen it. That night I couldn't sleep. Not because I thought she'd cheated. Honestly, I already assumed she had. What bothered me was something else. She'd expected me to agree. Not hoped. Expected. The next morning I called in sick to work. I drove around for hours trying to convince myself those messages could mean anything. Maybe they were old. Maybe they were about someone else's relationship. Maybe I was creating a story that wasn't there. By lunchtime, I'd almost convinced myself. Then Emma called. She sounded happy. Too happy. She asked if I'd be home for dinner. I lied. I told her work was busy. Instead, I drove back home. Her car was gone. I walked inside. The house was quiet. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because once doubt enters your head, it starts looking for proof. I opened the cabinet where we kept old paperwork. Passports. Insurance. Tax documents. Nothing. Then I remembered something. Emma wasn't good at hiding things. She was good at hiding them in plain sight. Her office. Second drawer. Inside was a notebook. It looked ordinary. Shopping lists. Random reminders. Gift ideas. Halfway through, I found a page with dates. My stomach tightened. Every Friday for almost 3 months. Initials. Restaurants. Hotels. Little comments beside each one. Great conversation. Stayed overnight. Much better this time. 3 months. Emma had started dating. Before she'd ever mentioned an open marriage. I sat there staring at those pages until the words stopped looking like words. 3 months. The conversation at our dinner table wasn't the beginning. It was the moment she wanted permission for something she'd already started. I put everything back exactly where I'd found it. That evening, Emma kissed me. Hello. I let her. She asked about work. I lied again. The strange thing about betrayal is how quickly lying becomes normal. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I called Olivia. We met for coffee. I told her everything. Every embarrassing detail. The open marriage. The notebook. The dates. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she asked one question. Why are you still protecting her? I didn't have an answer. Because she was right. I was protecting Emma. Even now. Even after discovering she'd manipulated the entire conversation. That night, I finally asked Emma something I'd been afraid to ask. When did you first start thinking about an open marriage? She smiled. About 6 months ago. Another lie. I already knew it. Watching someone lie when you already know the truth is a strange experience. You stop listening to the words. You watch their face instead. The pauses. The breathing. The confidence. Emma believed I'd never find out. That realization changed something inside me. A few days later, Olivia invited me to dinner. I almost said no. Then I remembered something. Emma never asked permission anymore. She simply informed me. So I went. We laughed. Talked. Walked through the city afterward. At one point, Olivia reached for my hand. Instinctively. Without thinking. I let her. For the first time in months. I felt peaceful. No guilt. No anxiety. No wondering where Emma was. Just peace. When I got home, Emma was waiting again. She asked if I'd slept with Olivia. I said yes. That wasn't true. Nothing had happened. But I wanted to see her reaction. Emma looked like I'd punched her. She stood up so quickly, her chair fell backwards. She asked how I could do that to her. I honestly thought I'd misheard. I reminded her whose idea this had been. She started crying. Real crying. Not loud. Just defeated. Then she said something that made everything click. She admitted she'd never expected me to actually meet someone. She thought I'd go on one awkward date, hate it, and come running back to her. The open marriage was never supposed to be open. It was supposed to be open. Only for Emma. Then I asked the question I'd been carrying for days. Who is he? She closed her eyes. Didn't deny there was someone. Didn't ask how I knew. Just whispered his name. Daniel. I recognized it immediately. He worked with her. The one rule we'd both agreed on. No coworkers. The rule she'd suggested herself. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because suddenly every conversation we'd had about honesty felt like performance. Emma finally admitted she'd been seeing Daniel for almost 3 months before asking for the open marriage. She said she fell in love by accident. She never planned it. She just didn't want to lose me while she figured out what she really wanted. I stood there looking at the woman I'd spent 8 years with, waiting for the part where she said she was choosing him. Instead, she begged me not to leave. And that's when I realized something even sadder. Emma didn't want Daniel. She didn't want me either. She wanted the safety of knowing she'd never have to choose. I didn't leave that night. Not because I wanted to stay. Because after 8 years together, I honestly didn't know where to go. Emma slept in the guest room. I stayed in ours. Neither of us slept. Around 3 a.m, I heard her crying through the wall. 6 months earlier, I would have walked in without knocking. I would have wrapped my arms around her and asked what was wrong. That night, I just listened. The next morning, Emma made coffee. She handed me a cup, like every other Saturday we'd ever had. For a second, it almost felt normal. Then I noticed she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. Neither was I. She asked if we could talk. I nodded. Emma told me she wanted to end things with Daniel. She said she'd made a mistake. She realized she still wanted our marriage. I asked her when she'd realized that. She looked at me. Then she admitted it had happened after I'd started seeing Olivia. Not after she hurt me. Not after she lied. Not after she broke every rule she'd written herself. After she saw that I could actually be happy without her. That was the first honest thing she'd said in weeks. I thanked her for telling the truth. Then I asked if Daniel knew she was trying to end it. Emma shook her head. She hadn't told him yet. She wanted to make sure we were going to fix things first. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She was asking me to commit, while another man still thought he had a future with my wife. I stood up. Emma grabbed my hand. She asked whether 8 years really meant so little. I looked around the house. The pictures on the wall. The vacations. The furniture we'd argued over buying. The kitchen we'd painted together. 8 years meant everything. That's exactly why this hurt so much. If we'd been together for 8 months, maybe I could have walked away without looking back. But she'd watched me build a life with her, while secretly building another one with someone else. The open marriage wasn't honesty. It was damage control. She hadn't wanted freedom. She wanted permission after the fact. I packed a suitcase. Emma followed me from room to room. She kept saying we could go to counseling. Delete Daniel's number. Start over. I believed she'd do all those things. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that every promise she made now sounded exactly like the promises she'd made before asking for the open marriage. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. Before I left, I asked her one last question. If I'd never met Olivia, would you still be with Daniel? Emma didn't answer. She just cried. That silence was enough. I moved into a small apartment across town. Olivia and I kept seeing each other. Slowly. There was no dramatic love story. No grand romance. Honestly, after everything with Emma, I wasn't ready for one. Olivia understood that. She never asked me to move faster than I could. Sometimes we'd just sit on her balcony drinking coffee without saying much. It was strangely comforting. No games. No tests. No hidden meanings. A month later, Daniel contacted me. I almost ignored the message. Curiosity won. We met in a cafe. He looked nervous. He apologized before he even sat down. Emma had finally told him everything. Not just about me. About the timeline. The open marriage. The lies. Daniel thought she'd been separated for months when they started seeing each other. He had no idea she was still coming home every night to her husband. For a while, neither of us spoke. It was surreal. The man I'd imagined hating looked just as manipulated as I felt. He told me he ended things with Emma immediately. Not because she was married. Because she'd lied to him too. On the walk back to my car, I realized something. Emma hadn't been choosing between two men. She'd been trying to keep two different versions of herself alive. The wife who wanted stability, and the woman chasing excitement. Eventually, both collapsed. The divorce took almost 9 months. Emma didn't fight me. She signed everything. The only thing she asked for was one dinner together before it was final. I almost said no. Then I thought about it. 8 years deserves a goodbye. She looked different. Tired. Quieter. We talked about ordinary things. Work. My parents. Her new apartment. For almost an hour, we avoided the obvious. Then she asked if I was happy. I said I was getting there. She smiled. A sad one. Then she admitted something I think about a lot. She said asking for an open marriage wasn't the biggest mistake she'd made. Falling for Daniel wasn't either. The biggest mistake was assuming I'd always be there while she figured herself out. She thought my love was permanent, something she could safely put on hold. She was wrong. When we walked outside, she hugged me. It felt like hugging someone I'd known in another life. Not a stranger. Not my wife. Just someone who used to know everything about me. Olivia and I are still together. We're taking it slowly. Maybe that's why it works. Neither of us is trying to escape another life. We're just building this one. Sometimes people ask whether I regret saying yes to the open marriage. I don't. Because the marriage was already over before those words were ever spoken. I just didn't know it yet. Saying yes didn't destroy my relationship. It exposed what had been happening in the dark for months. Emma asked for an open marriage because she thought it would let her have everything. Instead, it was the first time either of us finally saw the truth.